Mexico City, or Ciudad de Mexico, is one of the oldest and most complex cities in the Western Hemisphere. Its story doesn't begin with modern skyscrapers or bustling traffic. It begins deep in the heart of a sacred valley over 700 years ago, when the Aztecs followed a divine vision to a swampy island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. In 1325, they founded Tenochtitlan, a powerful city-state that would become the capital of the Aztec Empire. Built on a series of islands with canals and causeways, Tenochtitlan was a marvel of engineering and beauty, home to over 200,000 people at its height, larger than many European cities at the time. The city had bustling marketplaces, majestic temples like the Templo Mayor, and an advanced system of aqueducts and floating gardens called chinampas. It was a center of power, culture, and religion, where gods were honored and wars were waged in their names. But in 1519, tragedy struck. Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés arrived, driven by greed, ambition, and religious fervor. What followed was one of the most brutal and transformative events in history, the Spanish Conquest. Through a combination of alliances with rival tribes, superior weaponry, disease, and deception, Cortés and his men laid siege to the great city. In 1521, after months of starvation and bloody conflict, Tenochtitlan fell. The city was burned, its temples dismantled, and thousands of lives were lost. The fall of the Aztec capital marked the end of an empire and the birth of a new colonial order. On the ruins of Tenochtitlan, the Spanish built Mexico City, shaping it with European architecture, Catholic cathedrals, and colonial institutions. The city became the capital of New Spain and the center of Spanish power in the Americas. But this transformation came at a tremendous cost. Forced labor, cultural erasure, and the mass deaths of indigenous peoples from smallpox, violence, and starvation. Over the centuries, Mexico City grew in power and population, but its history continued to be shaped by tragedy and resistance. In 1810, the Mexican War of Independence began, a bloody and prolonged conflict to overthrow Spanish rule. By 1821, after over a decade of war and the deaths of hundreds of thousands, Mexico gained independence. The city once again transformed, but internal struggles, foreign invasions, and political instability plagued the young nation. In 1847, during the Mexican-American War, U.S. forces invaded Mexico City and raised their flag at Chapultepec Castle. This humiliation left a scar in the national memory and contributed to the eventual loss of over half of Mexico's territory. Then came the French intervention and the brief rule of Emperor Maximilian I in the 1860s, ending in his execution and yet another rebirth of the Mexican Republic. The 20th century brought new turmoil. The Mexican Revolution, 1910 to 1920, one of the most significant social upheavals in Latin American history, was born out of inequality, dictatorship, and unrest. The streets of Mexico City witnessed protests, battles, and assassinations. The revolution left over 1 million dead, and the city again in a state of transformation, this time toward a more modern democratic identity. But tragedy did not stop there. In 1985, Mexico City suffered one of the most devastating earthquakes in its history. Measuring 8.0 on the Richter scale, the quake struck on September 19th, leveling buildings, killing over 10,000 people, and leaving countless more injured and homeless. The disaster exposed governmental corruption and inefficiency, but also sparked a powerful grassroots movement. Ordinary citizens came together to rescue survivors, rebuild homes, and demand accountability. The earthquake became a turning point for civic engagement and resilience in Mexico City's modern identity. Despite centuries of turmoil, invasions, colonization, earthquakes, and political strife, Mexico City has endured. It has risen again and again from ashes and ruins, each time stronger, richer in culture, and more diverse in spirit. From ancient temples to revolutionary murals, from colonial palaces to protest marches, every corner of the city carries the echo of its complex and painful past. Today, Mexico City is a sprawling metropolis of over 20 million people, a fusion of ancient heritage and modern ambition. The culture is a deep blend of indigenous roots and colonial influence. The people of Mexico City, known as Chilangos, are known for their resilience, humor, and strong sense of community. Family plays a central role in daily life, and traditions are passed down through generations, often visible in religious festivals, national holidays, and neighborhood celebrations. Customs like Dia de los Muertos, a mix of pre-Hispanic beliefs and Catholicism, are deeply embedded in the city's identity, serving as a yearly tribute to ancestors and a reflection of the people's relationship with life and death. Social gatherings revolve around music, dance, and food. Mariachi music, folk dances like the Jarabe Tapatio, and muralism born from revolutionary ideals all contribute to a rich and proud cultural fabric. Catholicism is still the dominant religion, but there's also a strong undercurrent of indigenous spirituality and growing secularism among the younger generation. Education is highly valued and many pursue professional degrees, while maintaining close ties to family traditions and local identity. Mexico City's economy is one of the largest in Latin America. It thrives on a mix of industries, including finance, telecommunications, manufacturing, media, construction, and especially tourism. The service sector dominates employment, with a large portion of residents working in retail, restaurants, hotels, and government services. There's also a growing tech and startup scene, fueled by young entrepreneurs. Informal employment, including street vendors and small family-run shops, also plays a major role in the economy. Transportation in Mexico City is vast and varied. The city operates one of the largest metro systems in the world, which millions rely on daily. Buses, trolleybuses, minibuses known as peseros, and increasingly popular bike-sharing programs help people move through the urban sprawl. Ride-hailing apps and taxis are common, though traffic congestion remains a challenge. Public transportation is affordable and widely used by locals across all demographics. Spanish is the official language and is spoken by nearly everyone, though you'll still find traces of indigenous languages like Nahuatl in certain neighborhoods, street names, and cultural references. The way locals speak is full of slang and expressions unique to the capital, often humorous and fast-paced. The climate in Mexico City is considered subtropical highland. Thanks to its high elevation, it avoids the extreme heat typical of many other Mexican cities. Winters are dry and mild, while summers are warmer and marked by frequent afternoon rains. The air quality has historically been a concern, but initiatives in public transportation and emissions reduction have improved conditions over the years. The weather makes the city livable year-round, with most months offering comfortable temperatures for both residents and visitors. Must-try dishes in Mexico City reflect the city's diversity and love for bold flavors. Tacos al pastor, inspired by Lebanese immigrants, are a staple on every corner, made with marinated pork shaved off a spit and served on small corn tortillas. Chiles en nogada is a dish tied to national pride, representing the colors of the Mexican flag, with poblano peppers, walnut sauce, and pomegranate seeds. Another favorite is tamales, steamed corn dough stuffed with meats, vegetables, or sweets, often enjoyed during breakfast or special celebrations. The street food scene is unmatched, with countless regional dishes from all over Mexico converging in one place. The people of Mexico City continue to shape their identity through food, art, labor, resilience, and an unwavering pride in their roots. The past fuels their present, but the spirit of the city is always looking ahead, full of energy, contradictions, and possibility. Here are some fun and surprising facts that add even more character to Mexico City. It's sinking, literally. Because Mexico City was built on a former lake bed, parts of the city are sinking by several inches each year. Some buildings lean slightly, and engineers are constantly working to stabilize infrastructure. It has more museums than almost any city in the world. With over 150 museums, including the world-renowned National Museum of Anthropology and the Frida Kahlo Museum, the city is a haven for art, history, and culture lovers. It has the largest university in Latin America. The National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM, is a cultural and academic powerhouse. Its main campus is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, adorned with murals by Diego Rivera and other Mexican artists. It's home to the only royal castle in the Americas. Perched on Chapultepec Hill, Chapultepec Castle was once home to Emperor Maximilian I, and now serves as a history museum with panoramic views of the city. When visiting Mexico City, there are a few attractions that are absolutely essential. The Zócalo, or Main Square, is one of the largest city squares in the world and the heart of political and cultural life. Templo Mayor, buried under centuries of colonial buildings, showcases the ruins of the old Aztec Empire. Just a short trip north of the city lies Teotihuacán, the ancient city of pyramids, where the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon still stand tall, echoing the city's pre-Hispanic past. One bonus stop you can't miss is Xochimilco, where colorful boats float down ancient canals that were once part of the original lake system of Tenochtitlan. It's a lively and musical experience, especially on weekends when families celebrate birthdays and holidays along the water. There's also the quirky story of the Island of the Dolls, a haunting site filled with hanging dolls tied to local legends of a girl's mysterious death. It's eerie, intriguing, and draws curious travelers from around the world. Local stories help define the city's spirit. One popular tale speaks of La Llorona, the weeping ghost woman said to wander the canals and alleyways at night. While many say it's just a legend, others swear they've heard her cries echoing through the streets. From the ancient ruins to the revolutionary murals, from world-class cuisine to ghostly whispers in the night, Mexico City is a place where the past and present constantly collide. It's a city of contrasts, alive with tradition yet always evolving. Whether you come for history, culture, or curiosity, the city will leave an unforgettable mark on you. If you loved learning about Mexico City and want more stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel for more exciting travel adventures. Stay tuned. Your next unforgettable destination might just be one video away.